Hey friends, Todd Chipman of Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. I'm with Dr. Travis Montgomery. He leads our global campus and teaches in Christian studies, hermeneutics, biblical theology, various classes. Dr. Montgomery, what are you studying right now and what are you writing about?
So I have been in the weeds for the past couple of years after a dissertation in biblical theology in what's called moral theology, which for most of us relates to sanctification and what we just broadly call the Christian life. As I taught various leadership courses and of course as a pastor sought to counsel people, I thought there's got to be more in theological resources to help us, some kind of framework, some kind of paradigm. And so I learned more about a couple of concepts. One, the concept of vocation, that God has called me to what I'm doing wherever I am. And of course, that just makes us think of Romans 8 and all things working together for my sanctification. But along with vocation is a calling to become like Christ. And so the next major concept was that of virtue. And so classically, Christians through millennia have identified 7 virtues that they think kind of work together as a system. Of course, there's Pauline virtues, faith, hope, and love, which we often call theological virtues because their end is God himself. My faith in God, my hope in God, my love for God, and my neighbor for God's sake. But with those are 4 cardinal virtues, balancing who I am. So the banks of the river of reason keep me from errors on this side or that side, but there's got to be water flowing toward the destination, to the great ocean of God's love. And so studying those together with a co-author, Joseph Lanier, really allowed me to get more into systematic theology, to get more into some classical theological resources, and of course all along to see, does this hold up biblically? How does this help my interpretation of the scriptures, maybe unlock some confusing passages or some that even seem to conflict with one another? We think of like Paul and James with faith and works. And it's amazing to me how theology helps my reading of the Bible, how of course my deep focus and biblical interpretation informs my theology. And all this kind of comes out to what's been an incredibly helpful paradigm. I think of this when I'm preaching sermons. I think of this when I'm writing worship songs. I think of this, of course, in my own life as I think through major decisions for my family. It's just become an incredibly helpful, time-tested paradigm that I'm in good company with the rest of the church, and I think with Scripture as well. So it's been studying these 7 virtues: faith, hope, love, prudence, justice, temperance, fortitude, and by God's grace, trying to grow in them, not just learn about them.
These virtues, moral theology, systematic theology, together informing your preaching, pastoral ministry, family. Friends, study at a school with authors who are writing applicable material. Dr. Montgomery is doing that. Whether you're a global campus student or residential campus student at Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary, you're studying with the same faculty. You're studying with the same scholars. For more information, go to mbts.edu. To join us for Preview Day on November 7th, go to mbts.edu as well. Sign up there. We will look forward to seeing you in class soon.